Hey, good morning, people, and welcome to Combat Culture Africa. We have a full team on the table today, man. Every single person is here.
Woo!
Yeah,
This is rare.
Very rare, very rare. So, we're gonna do our introductions real quick. This is Oche Young Jolov with the voice of Smooth Silk, and he is anchoring the show today. Right beside me is my brother Innocent Skelly Edache.
You now said my name, so I don't even know what I'm supposed to say.
Say yeah.
But what's up, people?
What's up, people? And then right across from him is
Icebox Akunu in the building. Good to be here.
good stuff. And then right across is my sensei,
Shady Richard Wamko, aka B-Boy.
B-Boy the Mill. All right, people. So yeah, we're just gonna hop right into it. We have a lot of content lined up for today, so no time wasted. So first things first. UFC 247 rounded up last weekend. Jon Jones versus Dominic the Devastator Reyes. There was a controversial decision with a lot of people believing that Dominic Reyes won the fight. Some people say that Jon won, but then there was also a lot of controversy in that the entire event with regards to judging. The judges gave a lot of decisions that people just didn't understand. With one of the judges even giving Jon Jones a 4-1 score,
Which is insane.
So yeah, guys, thoughts?
I thought, like most people, I actually felt like Reyes won the fight. But funny enough, once the fight was over, I went to a decision. I still, maybe it's just because I've seen it happen so many times, I still expected that Jon Jones' hand would be raised. It wasn't, it wasn't like Reyes went out there and completely dominated. But Reyes showed so many things. Like, I hold my hands up. Last week, Oche and I did predictions. We got all the predictions right. We said Derek Lewis, we said Valentina Shevchenko, we said Jon Jones. But so that while that's nice, I think I hold my hands up. I completely didn't give Reyes enough due going into that fight. I thought he really acquitted himself really well. He made Jon Jones uncomfortable more than once. In the middle of flurries from Reyes, Jones ran to get out of the. There were times when he had Jon against the cage and was throwing. And I felt he should have pressed the advantage a few times when he was in that situation. His movement was really good. He never settled, even when he was tired at the end. He never settled in front of Jon. So I thought he did really well. And I also felt like I see why people feel like Reyes won that fight, because I added 3 rounds to 2 in favor of Reyes.
All right. Same for me. I exactly like you actually. Even though I saw that Dominic had dominated the fight, in my opinion, I still felt like Jon Jones get his hand raised. Which then when it happened, I was like, I'm not surprised. And and also based on all the things I've seen on social media, I don't feel like people could call it a robbery, because it wasn't.
It
was a close fight.
It was a close fight.
With one end, the start of it very, very obviously to Dom, and then the end of it very obviously to Jon Jones. I enjoyed the fight. I did enjoy it, and I feel like the worry started to come to me a bit closer to the fight. I started to feel like, oh man, there might be an upset here, because Jon might not have taken this fight as seriously yet. And I understand that. I understand staying motivated.
Yeah.
And I feel like, I watch his interviews and everything, and there was still time when conversations about Israel were still coming up.
But looking past Dom.
That's a good point.
It was I was like.
But to Jon's credit, he didn't answer any questions about Israel.
Yeah, and he said that he wouldn't let it happen anymore. But I can understand when you feel like, there was a time when I really loved watching Jon Jones was every single fight, like GSP as well, they will come almost with a completely different style of fighting. You can so like when Joseph Pierre started doing like the Superman punch from southpaw stance, like doing it with the left, and it just looked so crazy. And Jon Jones would come up with the oblique kicks and then the spinning back elbow, like all that I used to. But then I feel like for a while now we haven't seen anything particularly new,
creative
come out from. So it's something like kind of hit like a plateau, and like, what else can I bring out? And I don't think Jon has found that person to excite him like that. I think that's what it is. It's a matter of excitement. I don't think he's excited enough to to want to dazzle. I think to get the best Jon Jones, he has to lose. I think he has to lose and come back.
And then come back.
That's what I believe.
It's very interesting.
Oh, that's actually an interesting point. So for me, right, I feel like Jon Jones lost that fight, to be fair. So to me, I feel like Jon Jones lost that fight. So due to my own judgments I gave for the fights, I scored it as well as Skelly here. So it was 3-2. So Jon Jones winning the last 2 rounds. That's why I saw he really brought his A game in those last 2 rounds. But one thing I really observed during this fight was that Reyes actually showed us that Jon Jones actually has a weakness. That all Jon Jones has in his arsenal gets taken away once you bring in applied movements into your game plan. And that's one thing I noticed. Because one thing Jon Jones is going, if you stand in a point or stay in a spot, those oblique kicks are coming. They are coming. But if you keep moving, he can't trace that. He can't follow up with your knee. He's always looking for that. And even throughout the fight, he tried to apply it, at least to slow Reyes down. But then he kept missing the timing. And each time he focused on that, Reyes would tag him. I was like, oh, okay. This is how you actually beat Jon Jones. He's really not that, indestructible as he led to believe all this while. But I felt like Reyes really brought it. He really, really brought it. Again, credit to Jon Jones though. He showed that he's a champion for a reason. He took some shots.
That mindset.
Really took some shots.
Because he really does believe he's unbeatable.
Yeah.
He literally kept pressing forward.
Believes it.
You hear what Dom said a lot was that he's just a man. He's just a man. That this guy, that it's insecurity. I see insecurity when I look at him. And I don't think that Dom was just saying, he wasn't just saying that this was what he observed, what he saw. But what keeps that man above everybody else is the mindset.
Yeah,
I think losing for Jon, it's something he dreads. He cannot imagine himself losing, because even that 4th and 5th round, just walking forward, it's really hard to do that.
Yeah.
So man, I feel some validation, because the last episode we did, everything I said that Dom needed to do to win,
that's what he
did. And that made me feel good that my understanding of the fight game has improved a little bit, because that was good. It was the same thing. My question now is what do you guys think about the light heavyweight division? Because I personally feel like a lot of life has been breathed into that division because of this fight this weekend.
Yeah.
And because of that, how that fight played out, Corey Anderson versus Jan Blachowicz, it has a lot more weight behind it now. Do you think what do you think of the current standing of the light heavyweight division? Do you think that now does Jon Jones moving to heavyweight sound you any as interesting as it was before? Because whoever wins between Corey Anderson and Jan is there's going to have to be that little debate. Is Jon going to rematch with Dominic Reyes? Does the winner fight Dominic Reyes? Then whoever gets to win that gets to fight Jon Jones? What do you guys think?
I'm going to talk for, I'm not excited by anything in light heavyweight division anymore. That's the truth. But also, so instead of, like I said, the way to get old Jon back, or exciting Jon back, where the creative mix comes back in, is, like I said, it has to lose. But instead of losing, the threat of the heavyweight division might be another thing that might inspire him.
Can I point out something?
Yeah.
I just noticed something. I noticed something during the fight. So during the end of the fight, right, when you after the whole interview and everything, I noticed that Jon didn't even feel confident that he won.
No, he wasn't 100% sure.
Yeah, he couldn't be
confident.
You can't. It's in the judges.
Even from the interview when we were talking to him, he was staggering. That's the first time I've ever seen him do that. It was because he didn't think he win. He won. That's really interesting.
The light heavyweight division is, let's be honest, Dominic Reyes has acquitted himself really well.
Yeah.
But then beyond him, what else really is there to get? There are good fighters who just aren't necessarily exciting. Corey Anderson's one of them. But then you look beyond that, you're still talking about Lionheart Smith. You're still talking about guys like Jan Blachowicz.
Sorry, I want to jump in.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what I feel like why I'm excited is because of the era that we came from. Chocolate Dell.
Yes.
Rashad Evans.
What?
Like Leonard Machida.
Yeah.
Remember these guys?
Yeah.
Rampage Jackson.
Rampage.
That division was
Fire.
fire.
Mad.
Like even
I think Vanderlei
Sonnen.
Chill.
Wanderlei Silva.
Vanderlei Silva. We fought at
In
light
middleweight,
too.
he went. He did light heavyweight
We
as
went to
well.
light heavyweight.
Like it was. I don't know.
So it
was-
just doesn't measure
it
up
was
to that,
the
right?
division
It feels safe
in the
now.
UFC. It was the
It feels.
division.
It does feel safe. It
John
feels-
happened to that division then.
John came.
Yeah,
destroyed.
yeah.
He took everybody he fought. Somehow is not in the UFC anymore.
like let me just read
Vito
off.
Belfort.
Yeah.
Like he had
Dudes.
monsters, man. Even this guy Glover Teixeira. he
That's
was
right.
bombing
He's
people
still
out.
still
right.
there fighting Lion Anthony Smith.
Oh, he is?
Yeah, they're fighting.
Wow.
They're
I
fighting
didn't
in
even know
March.
that.
I feel like after this fight with John, like
So let me just read off.
Shoulders.
The
yeah.
guys in the division. Volkan Ozdemir, Jan Blachowicz. Just I'm going up in ranking. Corey Anderson, Daniel Cormier is still ranked 4th in the division. Anthony Smith, Thiago Santos, Dominic Reyes. There really isn't much star power in that division. They
we
just
had Brandy Couture there.
Yes,
Oh,
man.
back there.
Kai. So yeah,
The light heavyweight division was. Oh, I just said.
yeah, you kind of. But you're excited. I like it.
Those guys, they brought smiles to my face, man. Like,
But, but speaking of the division, I think let's talk about the fight tonight.
Yeah, Jan versus
Corey
Anderson. That's tonight, man.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go straight up and say I think Corey is going to win. I think he's going to win convincingly. And this is the second time.
Johnny Walker.
Yeah,
The crap out of John Walker.
And
Screaming at him.
another reason why is because of this,
Ooh.
the mentality of the fighter.
Screaming at him.
He threw the referee away. Yeah, like and I watched an interview with him yesterday, and he was talking about how the mentality shift took place. That he first of all he had been feeling like the UFC was not giving him the credit that he deserves.
Yeah.
Second of all, he had to come to terms with the fact that under Mark Henry's training, he's grown as a fighter, but he had never had a proper kickboxing or Muay Thai class done. Like he only started doing kickboxing and Muay Thai the last 12 months, and then after doing that, he now came on the 4-win streak, the 4-fight win streak. I think he's a natural born talent. He's athletic, one of the most athletic guys in that division, and his endurance, the guy's gas tank does not fade. He's still as aggressive as he should be from the first round to the 5th. So he said what he said in the interview. What he said in the interview was that now his mentality is if he dies, he dies. If his opponent dies, he dies. Like that's why he was behaving like this. Like that he's no longer going to be that politically correct. Nah. Like if the person dies, the person dies. Said it 3 times in the interview.
I'm looking forward to watching this interview you just mentioned and other recent interviews because, like Dana, I kind of did.
Overlook him, right?
No, not overlook him. I found him a bit irritating. I found
Like a crybaby.
Yes, like this is clearly really, really gifted wrestler, strong as an ox. Like this, but then it just felt like every interview I watched was crying about, oh, they do all this stuff for John, they don't do anything for me. I had to carry my own bags at the airport. I'm like, come on, guy. And then, but then, as annoying as that could be, you watch the guy fight and you're like, all right, and he beat down Johnny Walker.
Johnny Walker was undefeated.
Yes, he was undefeated.
So-called future of the
I think
division.
everybody was saying that, it's him and Dominic Reyes, these dynamic strikers who and he beat him like a drum and didn't beat him with wrestling, punched his face in.
Yeah,
so yeah, I expect him to beat Jan. And the thing about, I know whether it's Jan or Jan. Jan. Okay, and the thing about Jan too is, I watched the fight against Jacare, his last fight. He fought really safe, in my opinion. It was a really, really dull main event for that card. The boxing is there; it'll always be there. But at the same time, I just feel like Corey's striking has come along rather nicely, and he's going to be facing a much more complete fighter because Corey can take him to the ground. Corey, I think, is physically stronger than Jan, even though Jan's a pretty strong guy. I think Corey wins the fight.
Yeah.
But it's good. I think it's going to be a good one.
Bro, I don't think it's even going to be competitive.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Just because of I spent the bulk of yesterday watching both guys.
Mm.
I don't
It's
think
not close.
I don't think it's close. I don't
Oh,
think
interesting.
this guy, that guy. We should all I feel.
It's a potential champion.
I feel what Dom did in Jon Jones. Jon Jones is in his fight versus John. Corey does it a lot better.
That's actually
Naturally, I don't think he even needs to go to a
Try.
training camp. Have you seen him? His footwork, his
He
movement,
moves well.
creates angles really well, and he's really powerful. And for you to sustain that power 5 rounds consistently, he's scary.
I think a big part of that gas tank is all that he seems to always maintain composure. You saw that awkward position he was in
Yeah.
just before, where he was kind of like
On
he
top
was
of
straddling
it,
the
yeah,
guy.
yeah.
He just looked very like
Yeah.
I don't know where we're going to end up,
Yeah.
but I don't.
But
care.
I'm ready.
I'm
Yeah.
okay. I'm okay.
Yeah.
I think most guys would have immediately tried to go for the
Yeah,
neck.
or want to put
Or-
because I wouldn't like the idea of both legs of mine not being on the floor. Like he didn't even try it. He's just like wherever this goes, like
Yeah,
I got you.
I'll take care of you.
Yeah. All right then, guys. Chidi, anything on Corey Anderson versus Jan? On your
Well, there's really nothing much to say. It's to me, like you guys said, it's a clear win for him.
Okay.
I hope it doesn't go the way I see it going.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
we have a
I hope
competitive
it's more
matchup.
competitive,
Yeah,
yeah.
but good stuff. All right, guys. So another thing, Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. That's
I'm excited for it.
happening. That's happening
Next
part the
weekend.
28th.
Yeah, next week at 22nd.
22nd. So yeah, what do you guys think, man? Let's start with you because
Alright.
you're the boxing nut.
All right, so for my thoughts on this is look at the two fighters after their first fight. So let's start with the Gypsy King. So he's gone on to fight 2 fights, right? I can't remember their names, but he's gone on to fight 2 fights. But these guys are up and coming fighters. They're not like big names or anything. So they're up and coming fighters, and he struggled a lot to win.
Yeah.
Do you remember like the cuts?
Huge cut.
Yeah, and the massive Vaseline.
Yeah.
Totally.
Look, sorry to cut you off. If that was the same doctor that ended Nate Diaz, they would have called that fight too.
Yeah.
And that would have been an L.
Yeah.
That cut was that bad.
was
It
really
really was. But he, credit to him. Anyway,
He always finds a way to come back.
Yeah,
Like,
credit
that's
to
a championship out right there. But yeah, he won those 2 fights, and then we move on to Wilder. Had 2 fights as well. 2 big names, massive names. He had the rematch. Is it the rematch against what's his name?
Ortiz.
Ortiz as well. Oh my god, amazing knockout. Again, he showed people you don't need the skills. Again,
That hurts me so much.
people. He's always criticized about like,
I'm
he's
still
not
gonna
a
keep
boxer.
criticizing him.
But
He's not clean.
funny
I don't
enough,
like
I
his-
saw this documentary, right, of like fighters before and after
Fighting.
Deontay Wilder. So every fighter says the same thing. His boxing is actually underrated. Funny enough, they keep saying the same thing. That if you go in the mentality that, okay, that this guy you can outbox him, you will lose against him. Because that's the thing, you're going with the mentality that, okay, he's not gonna hit you with anything fancy. But his 1-2 is the most underrated.
He's
skill.
so rangy. So
Yeah, the way he throws it, it's like he disguises it so perfectly well. He throws it, blocks your vision. His jab doesn't have to hit, but he blocks your vision at the right time where the cross is coming in as well. It's so perfect.
My coach called
Very
that
underrated.
splitting arrows. So he's like,
Exactly.
Then do another one that splits the arrow. It's called splitting arrows. So you jab and then that same line try to follow through.
That's what he catches everyone. All is it 42?
42, yeah.
Yeah.
And 4-2-0 and 1.
All his opponents, that's the same exact 1-2 he keeps catching people with. It's just amazing. Like once in a while he goes with a hook, but that 1-2, that's the most deadliest weapon ever.
Splitting arrows.
So,
it works.
Yeah.
You create a path and then you follow that same path again. So while that path is open, so like you said, it doesn't have to make contact.
Yeah.
But because that path is open
follow
and
through.
you've reacted to that with whatever, you've parried and your arm is down, your hand is down, or you stepped a little bit
And all of a
back.
sudden there's
and
another
cross comes
fist.
right through.
Thomas Hearns used to do that
Power.
famously.
Oh, yeah.
The flicker jab
Yeah.
would come, then the chopping right would follow. That was how he did it, and it's the same thing. He would block your vision with his jab, just keep it there
Just
because
there,
it was
yeah.
so long. Then the right hand follows.
Bomb.
So, funny enough, they're actually naming Wilder as the most powerful heavyweight of all time.
Oh,
Which is
wow.
insane.
Over Tyson?
Yeah, over Tyson.
No, because
Over
the power.
Sonny Liston.
But the power, though.
Yeah, even George Foreman as well.
Insane.
Over, yeah, Foreman.
Yeah, Foreman. The thing is, it was after the Tyson Fury fight that debate actually came up because he was saying that he thinks he's greater, he has more power than
I
Mike,
think it was
than Mike
after
Tyson.
his fight, people saw the fight.
Yeah, that they just kept quiet.
This is insane.
And to his credit, like I know he gets a lot of flack for being as brazen as he is. Some of the stuff he says, the way he fights, sometimes he doesn't look like the most impressive fighter.
Yeah.
But even if he's not the most impressive boxer, if he's managed to find this one skill that works for him so much, then all he has to do is keep working on the other stuff that he's not good at. In other words, every time you see him, he's only going to be better. If, as a bad boxer, I've knocked out 42 of my opponents and I'm standing,
he's never lost,
and I've never lost, and I'm going to the gym, working on my footwork, working on my head movements, working on my range, my combination.
And that power will always be there.
He's always going to be there. He's found what works for him. I think he's in a great position to be one of
And
the greats all time.
he's got a chin on him, man.
Yeah.
He's actually got a chin.
Yeah.
I keep bringing my old coach up, and that same thing you always say, like, everything works and everything doesn't work. You can get someone who's completely clean, and this is why I gave Conor a bit of a standing chance with McGregor with Mayweather. Because no, because I thought, you know what, everybody's brought orthodox boxing to Mayweather, and he's a genius with predicting movement and like getting out of the way and returning fire. I thought someone comes with a little bit unusual movement, usual hits, he might just be the one to do it. And so the same thing my coaches always say, listen, everything works, everything doesn't work. The guy that used to damage me the most in training was not a competitive, wasn't training to compete, he was just training for fitness and confidence. And we used to call him Clubber Lang. He used to do these weird ass punches from up to your forehead. To your like that.
What? Like a hammer fist?
But you don't see
You
that.
never see it. And what are you slipping? He's going to catch you. Like that. Like, he always used to damage me. So I used to be weary of that guy, even though like
He's not a good.
I was pro.
Yeah.
I was the pro competitor of the team, and this guy was coming to get fit, and he would catch me more than the guys.
You know who does that right now in this gym for me is Victor.
Victor.
Victor, when I'm sparring with Victor, I'm like,
You don't know.
You're weary of
because
him.
everything he just looks so stiff and so, but he hits me so much.
Yeah.
'Cause, like I go,
He hits hard.
he hits me more than Farid.
Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah, because he just comes.
he would chop you like from a weird angle.
And even he's shocked, like he hits you, like he's thinking like, oh shit, that could work. Oh shit, just to swear.
That's fine. That's all right. We've done that a couple of times. I'm really torn about this fight. Actually, I get the point you're making about how the two fights have gone for both fighters since they fought. I think personally, I'm rooting for Tyson. I just kind of want him to
Same.
win. Yeah, I love the dude, but
He's a better boxer. So.
and he's a better. And I'm just gonna
It's his story.
try and enjoy it, as opposed to being so invested in it. It's such a tough fight to predict because even the first fight, the better boxer outboxed Wilder, but then the most dramatic moment of the fight,
It was robbery.
Knockdown.
Definitely.
so same formula again, man. Same formula.
But the funny thing is, for Fury to win this fight, he just had to survive. It's a weird thing to say, but that's just the truth.
Because they're not going to stand and bank. He has to stick up moves. Stick
Yeah,
up
that's
moves.
just surviving. Just
I want Fury to win. I want
Yeah,
Fury
me too. I want
because
Fury to
I
win.
just like.
I love the
I'm a
dude.
sucker for a story.
Yeah,
I'm a sucker for a story.
Redemption story,
Yeah,
man.
man.
Funny enough,
He's
if
been
he
through
wins
so
and
much.
he goes...
Do you remember when he got fat? Do you remember when he got super fat?
yeah,
So fat. And then came back.
250, 260 kg, I think. or
He-
something like that.
Yeah, it was
He looked
well
like-
over
he looked like
300
one of the
pounds.
Incredibles.
Yeah,
Because he had
I think
that
it was close to
big
400.
bump
Yeah,
legs
and you know his body is weird.
Yes, slim
He
legs.
was, was suicidal, almost killed
Yeah,
his Ferrari off the bridge.
That's
shot
right.
himself. He's an amazing.
Bipolar.
I love that dude, man.
You know, I kind of want to see Wilder win just to see Wilder AJ.
Oh,
that-
yeah, that
Yeah,
sets
you'd
out
make
of
that
the
fight.
future.
You'd
yeah,
make that fight
yeah,
immediately.
I want to see that.
Yeah,
That would be
but Fury, Tyson Fury versus AJ would also be a really compelling fight because that would be clean. That would be
UK
clean.
versus the UK.
Too technical, clean
Technical.
fighters.
I would love to see
I'd
that.
love to watch it.
Although the fans would get behind Wilder
Why
Fury
don't you?
because that's.
Yeah.
It's more insane.
All right, guys. Time isn't really on our side anymore. We have 2 more items, but I think we're just gonna skip one. The one that we're gonna skip is Lovato relinquishing his Bellator title. This
Yeah.
week. We can just give him like
Not much to say. It's just good luck to the
I hope,
man.
I hope the whole Cabanova
Legend,
thing
man.
gets sorted out
Yeah.
and he gets recovered and he comes back to the cage.
That's right.
But his absence has created a lot of like drama in Bellator now with Douglas Lima and Gerard Musasi as well. So, but we can talk about that on the next episode.
And
Did you guys see the standoff with Lima and Usman?
Usman.
Yeah, I did.
I don't mind some of
Dude,
that.
Definitely.
This is like
Fantasize.
DC versus Marvel shit.
Yes.
Isn't it crazy to say this? Considering how stacked
The
welterweight
welterweight
is,
division is.
those might be the 2 best welterweights in the
In the
world.
world.
Lima is so good.
Yeah,
so
He is.
good.
So
And
you
he's
would
super
rather see
humble
Lima
as well.
versus Usman or Lima versus Masvidal?
Lima versus Usman.
It's more exciting.
Just because the contrast in
Difference in
styles.
Yes.
Yeah.
And another thing too is I get it from a marketing point. Lima versus Masvidal is just such a big, but
Do you know the fight I was? Sorry.
who is that?
Masvidal versus
Cody.
no, that black dude.
MVP?
MVP.
No, not MVP. The guy MVP had beef with him.
the one that was,
UK guy.
The one that likes flying knees.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't remember.
What is going on?
Yeah, dude, we're just
It's been a while. You've been away for a while, man.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. You know,
I
our
remember.
audience watches people get punched in the face for fun. They can handle a few F-bombs. Yeah.
Anyway,
All right.
Okay.
this
all
is
right.
not even what we're supposed to talk
Yeah,
about.
it's
Yeah.
not,
This
man.
was over Abu Dhabi, right?
Yeah, you were supposed to tell us about your
That's right,
experiences
yeah,
with the
So,
Abu
exactly.
Dhabi.
I was
Yeah.
running around. So Abu Dhabi was amazing. Well, UAE was amazing. The idea was to go to Dubai and see what's going on the front there. Apart from the UFC gym, because we went to that last time we were there in September 2019. Shout out to everybody over there at the UFC gym in Dubai doing good stuff. But there's another MMA gym there, Cobra Gym, and there's a lot of shows happening in the UAE that usually ends up having guys from this gym, Cobra, versus the guys in Abu Dhabi in this called Primal Gym. So I didn't end up going to Cobra Gym, but I went to Primal Gym in Abu Dhabi. And great setup. First part you come into is the CrossFit section, then the next part is like a black matted area for the striking stuff, and then the white matted area for the BJJ. And everything's happening like simultaneously. Like nobody wants
I
to
love
do
that
that.
activity.
It's
so
intoxicating.
like you walk in there, I was like, oh man, I want to bang like strike bang. And so I went there. I met a bunch of the fighters. We got to see some of the guys that were competing really soon. So some of those guys were just resting and they were doing what I used to do, visual training. So because when you're supposed to be resting, like tapering down your training, you, at the same time you don't want to be home. You can't have all these thoughts running through your head. Start playing the fights. Sometimes negative stuff goes into your head. So we do visual training. So you come in and you just keep absorbing like stuff going through your eyes, you know. So you're there watching fights at home, but it's even better when you come in and seeing your teammates. So I saw a bunch of them sitting down next to me. Then some of the guys who were competing a bit later, so they were still in full active mode. And there's even a couple of guys who were fighting each other, but they were training with themselves.
Huh.
They were really small, 54 kg guys.
How does that work though?
Yeah, that's how to ask them, like, what's that? They were like, well, there's not many of them. And then they're fighting themselves.
They need
But
sparring
he believed that it would make his training, the fight more exciting.
Because
I was
both
like-
men know each other.
Yeah,
that
I was
well.
like, oh, I thought it would make it boring because you guys would neutralize each other.
Cancel each
But like,
other.
no, because we knew each other, if we have to come up with something like
Interesting.
completely different. It's kind of like, I was like, oh, okay, all right, it's a good.
And you said they were 55 kg. Those guys
Yeah,
were small.
really small. Too. So I was like, how much do you guys weigh? Because you guys they look like all right, they look like what's his name, Demetrius Johnson.
Mighty Mouse.
Yeah, they really look really tiny. So I got to speak to the owner of the gym. I know we're talking about the same problems that we have, like, because he's also an active instructor. He was taking the BJJ class while I was there, and I said the same thing. So an instructor, you own the place, so all the struggles, you don't really get a chance to train much.
Oh, okay.
You get to you train with everybody else. You don't really get to do much for yourself, and but yeah, a lot of doors have been open from this meeting, this conversation now. And same thing the EFC guys told us. Just keep training your people. There is no shortage of shows to put together for you guys in whatever countries. So he has access. So this guy happens to be the commentator for the UFC in Arabic. So when UFC came over to Abu Dhabi,
What's his name?
Amar.
Okay, so we'll put him on the screen when it's time. Yeah.
So shows in Poland, shows in Russia, shows in Egypt. Like,
Mad.
it's like, see, but the thing is, he needs them to be pro. So he's like, you know what? Let them have all the amateur fights. Organize the amateur fights. Let them have the amateur fights. Then we'll get them over and we'll get them matched properly. Because that's always the issue. Don't matter, they'll give you a guy who's 2-0, and like I said, get them as much experience as possible. The amateur record doesn't matter. You can be 26 losses and 2 wins. It's a wealth of experience for yourself. So it's exciting times. There's no better time to be. I really say it. There's no better time to be alive.
I swear.
Irrespective of coronavirus. There's no better time to be alive with the internet age. As much as negative shit comes on the internet. Oh, God.
Bro, just keep going.
As much negative stuff that happens on the internet and stuff, the internet is a great thing for like globalizing turning the globe into a village, and like people meeting each other, and like it's amazing. So much is happening. It's a great time to be Nigerian as well. Even with all the crap happening in the country, it's a great time to be Nigerian. It's a great time to be an MMA enthusiast. It's a great time to be an MMA participant.
Great time to be an MMA enthusiast and participant in Nigeria.
It's a great time.
Getting in at the ground floor.
I'm excited for us. I'm excited for every single person who has aspirations and hopes to become something in MMA, because the spotlight is on us and we're going to be dumb to not take advantage of it.
I like it.
Right. Well said, Mayo. Well said. All right, we've crossed our time limit. If you have something to say? Okay. All right, man. So as usual, man, guys, social media plugs. Follow us on Twitter, Combat Culture AF. Follow us on Instagram, Combat Culture Africa. Follow us like us on Facebook, Combat Culture Africa. We're on YouTube as well, Combat Culture Africa. Email combatcultureafrica@gmail.com. And if you tweet at us with any questions in the current week, we'll answer it in the following episode. All right, guys. 3, 2, 1. Peace.
Nice one. All right. I have to run. Dad kept calling.